Well, there you go. Good morning, Ashcombe School, and all you year 12 sitting there in 50-degree heat. Sorry about that. I know how you feel. It's about 40 degrees in this office, and we've had to close the windows because it's so noisy. Anyway, my name is Milly Whitehead. I head up the GAP team at the Leap Overseas. We are one of the oldest gap year companies in the UK, set up by myself and my husband 20 odd years ago. So I'm pretty good at working out, kind of identifying what the trends are for gap years. And I want to impart with you today things to think about, kind of, you know, the bigger thing, not exactly what you're going to do on a day-to-day basis, but just to start your thoughts off. Because clearly you won't be making any decisions until this time next year. But it's to give you I want to give you the confidence and a bit of structure to start your thinking. Okay, so I am going to share my screen. Let's hope this works. Okay, let's hope this works. Please work. Please work. Okay, can you see my screen and my PowerPoint presentation has just disappeared? Isn't that annoying? Bear with it while I just go. Oh, this is just so annoying. Now I get all twitchy and I won't be able to find it. Leap data. No, where is the school talk? This is just always what happens. Nope, it's not happening. Guys, do you know where the school talk is? This is just a small technical error. Just hold fire. It's the new...
Marketing / sales.
Yeah.
Then click on school talks, gap pairs and email. Have it. I'm sorry, there's a folder with gap talks, inductions, and briefcase presentations. Briefcase.
Yes, got it. Okay, here we are. Got it. Right. Can you all see that? I think you can. Yes, you can. So, okay. So we are going to start it here. So, where are you at? You're kind of sitting here in your steaming hot room thinking, okay, my gap year is next year. Okay, how am I? You know, these are the worrying thoughts that people have at this time. Just like, oh my God, I've heard all my, previous peers have done all these exciting things, but it must cost a fortune. How am I going to raise the money? Yeah, valid point. We will discuss later. Who am I going to travel with? Yeah, scary point. Because a lot of people say, yeah, let's all go traveling. And then people do change their mind. It's happened time and time again. University offers. Are they going to let me take a gap year or not? Who knows at this stage? But from my experience, most universities do allow you to defer at some point along the system, apart from places like Oxford, Cambridge, engineering, and going down those lines. They can be pretty strict. So you have to navigate that on an individual basis. I'm nervous. Where do I start? So those are the kind of outline. Those are the main fears that people have at your point of your school career. Okay. And that is what we are going to address today. So starting off with, how do I plan it? What does it look like? What does a gap year look like? Because as far as I can say, and your parents will be thinking, that is a hell of a long time to be sitting on my sofa eating the contents of my fridge. And indeed, with my mother's hat on, that is the thing that gives me the biggest fear of all. And I've had two boys go through their gap years. And indeed, if the thought of them eating my fridge every single day was, that's to be avoided at all costs. So This time next year, you will probably be nearing the end of your A-levels. So my recommendation is to finish and enjoy and have a fantastic summer, doing whatever you want, doing your leavers trips, doing all those festivals, those parties, the 18th birthday parties. Yep, just go crazy and have a really, really good summer, because it is a moment in your life, a full stop of your school career that needs to be celebrated. But come for September the 1st, that is when psychologically everybody is ready to sharpen their pencils and get a new shoes. Now, you won't be going back to school, but instead you will be getting a job. And nobody cares what that job is, okay? Don't start thinking, oh my God, I need to get some work experience. It's like, no. Now is not the time for work experience. Now is the time to tot up, £12 an hour, whatever you can get, to build up your traveling pot. The aim being that you want to raise 300 quid minimum a week, because 300 quid, that will last you 2 weeks if you're traveling independently. So you need to start filling up the coffers. Now, typical jobs, we will come down later on, but that is between September and Christmas, your main objective. After Christmas, come January, you want to be out of here. You do not want to be sitting in England in January, February, or March. Utterly miserable. Don't think, oh, I'll just earn a little bit more money. No. Go. Because all your peers will be going, you're looking at snap maps, and they will be in exotic parts of the world. You don't want to be sitting at home, working in the local pub still. So get out there. Go and do something exciting. Then, so January, February, March, most people are kind of traveling. Some people do come back at that stage, earn a bit more money to go out again, do something of contrast, and then to come back for the summer before they start uni. So that is a kind of broad outline of how it could work. But the question is, what are you going to do in January when you leave this country? And there are 3 main things that you can do which have purpose, have structure, and are pretty dynamic. One is going abroad and volunteering, doing some form of course or ski season, or going abroad and doing some form of internship. And the 4th, which isn't on that list, is just independently traveling, which we will discuss further down the line. So, volunteering. Let's just discuss this for a minute. What does volunteering actually mean? What does it look like in reality? People think, oh, I'm going to go volunteer. It's like, is it like, going and helping at Christmas time at the local soup kitchen? Is it, driving and handing over kind of old clothes to people? What is it? To us, and I at the Leap, we specialize in volunteering adventure experiences overseas. And what is important to me is the act of volunteering enables overseas projects, dynamic little NGOs to exist. And it's those people you want to support, because there's those people that are making a difference. I don't want you to start thinking, oh, I'm going to go and help big operations like the Red Cross. No. They have money. They have that. They're readily financed. This is where you go to a country and you find magical little people who are doing their bit, their community-orientated projects. Like this one, the Turtle Garden. So we have a project in Costa Rica based at Santa Teresa. It's a huge community there, which are all involved in what we call the Plastic Ocean projects, because in Costa Rica, on the Pacific coast, the biggest threat to their environment is the plastic. You wouldn't believe what gets churned up on the beaches every day. And we're talking top, beautiful beaches, surf beaches, one of the top 10 surf beaches in the world. People travel from all over the world to go there. And every morning you've got old bits of cars, fridges, car seats, the noses of airplanes, literally thrown up by the sea onto these beaches, because in the Pacific there is probably about a mile out to sea, there is this plastic wave. It's like a snake. When you fly out, you see this white snake of plastic as far as the eye can see. So that is their problem. And so the community together don't rely on the government. They're just going to act and sort it out themselves with the help of volunteers like the leapers. They pick up the plastic, they get it recycled, it gets sent to America, where it gets turned into plastic thread, into groovy clothes, money comes back. The turtles, between November and March, you've got the turtle season. Turtles coming back every year to the same beach to lay their eggs. Now, if the community didn't act, they would literally come out of the sea and smack their head against the fridge. So it's really important to keep these beaches clean. They have a turtle sanctuary, so where they can put, when a nest has been laid, they can move those eggs to safety, keep them there, and make sure that when the hatching happens, I think it's about 51 days later, as many of the babies get to sea as possible. So it's simple projects like that. The next question is, people say, well, why do I have to pay? Surely I'm just, just myself being out there makes a difference. Yes, some cases, some little projects, you would be able to find where you can. Board and lodging is given in return for your labor. But often, that doesn't work out. They're very rare to find. And actually, you need to take a view that these projects only exist with the combination of your labor and your financial contribution. So just bear that in mind when you're racing through and Googling volunteering in some exotic country. But it is such an amazing, clearly, I love it because that's what the Leap do. But by volunteering overseas, the benefits are you give back, you feel so good about yourself, you see the kind of rewards to your kind of hard graft during the day. But most importantly, you meet local people, local dynamic people who are really putting themselves out there to make a difference in this world. And it's just gives you a different experience from just being on the backpacker trail, where you just meet people that are just pouring pints and just, running hostels. This is go off grid and you meet wonderful, wonderful people, which for me is the main highlight of volunteering. Okay, so the other thing that a lot of people do in January is they head off and they do some form of course, the ski season especially. So it is coming back into fashion now. It is getting easier. So by the time you want to go on your gap year, if you wanted to do a ski season, there will be more opportunities. So you will be absolutely fine. Right now, well, last year it was impossible because of Brexit, and there's so many jobs, there's so many hoops that British companies have to go through now to offer jobs to gappers to do a traditional ski season. But it's getting back they are finding a new balance for this. So yes, there are lots of ski courses available where you learn to ski, learn to do your Basic 1, Basic 2, so that you can become a ski instructor. There are companies like Ski Whiz where they offer ski jobs to do these ski, to become a ski chalet girl or boy. And in Canada, especially, that is now the new trend to do your ski season. In Canada, if you're lucky enough to get a visa, which is quite tricky, but it is completely doable, you can then work in bars, restaurants, ski shops, and that, will pay your way for doing a ski season. So for working in bars and doing that type of thing, Canada. For doing a kind of traditional ski chalet-like job, that's Europe. Or alternatively, do some course in Europe or Canada where you get your Basic 1 and Basic 2, so then you can go off to be a ski instructor. Okay? The next thing is internships. So I was talking earlier on about those wanting to thinking, okay, I've got to get a job. Maybe I do an internship and get work experience. No. Between September and Christmas, you're just going to earn the money. When you're going abroad, often an internship is doing an internship abroad is really exciting. Yes, you might, it's exciting in that it will allow you a more in-depth knowledge than you might in the UK. So, for example, if there were any medics sitting amongst you today, if you wanted a job in the NHS on an internship, well, good luck with that. That would be like, it's near impossible to find. And if you do find it, if you do get it, it will be really tough to actually get the experience because of all the health and safety. Whereas if you went to work in a hospital in somewhere like Asia or Africa, my God, you are just going to be forced onto the front line. You're going to be giving injections, changing bandages. You're going to be having hands-on experience. So, if you're thinking things like medics, veterinary, they are really worth exploring to do them overseas because you get a different level of exposure. And a company which is really good for internships is Projects Abroad. They have an internship kind of department, so I would highly recommend them. The next thing to discuss, okay, is how do you want to travel on your gap year? And there are two distinct ways of doing this. You can do organized team travel where everything is taken care of for you. So that's what we specialized in, versus independently backpacking. Okay, I'm just going to whiz through the pros and cons of both and the kind of nirvana, the kind of perfect trend of the day, which we think is a really good way to get the best of both worlds, is to do a bit of both, because there's such contrasting experiences and challenges that together they would just give you the perfect kind of travel experience. So the organized team travel, this is what we do at The Leap. So I'm just going to choose an example like Colombia. Okay, now Colombia is one of our most popular destinations. This is Colombia, this photo. This is getting to the Lost City. Colombia is one of those countries which I wouldn't advise you go independently traveling in. It's a tough country to navigate. So we take all that stress out of you. We send a team of about 15 people at any one time for 4 weeks. You go and live with our guys, which live in the center of Colombia in what we call the Canyonlands. You teach, you work at a school, you help local reforestation projects, but at the same time, you're really thrown into the community. You're playing cards and poker with the local guys, in the bars in the evenings. It's a really wonderful experience. Then you go to the beach, then you go and do the 3-day trek of the Lost City, have a bit of R&R, and then you're ready for phase 2. Now, the benefits of this team travel is that all the admin is taken care of. You're going to meet local people. You're going to meet other gappers of like-minded souls, okay? Making friends for life. I know that sounds so cheesy, but actually it really is true. You do make friends for life. What I love about it, with my mother hat on, is that it sets you up. It gets you ready for the phase 2, which is the independent phase of backpacking. During this time, you've learned to barter. Simple skill, but very important skill in traveling. You just feel more travel confident. You are not completely green, and you're ready for phase 2, which is the independent style of backpacking. Now, this people say, oh, well, you're just going through you're just going kind of through the hostels. And yeah, you are. You are a tourist backpacker going from hostel to hostel, what we call hostel hopping. But at the same time, it does offer contrasting challenges, because every day you've got to think for yourself, where are you going to sleep? Where are you going to eat? What activities are you going to do? Who are you going to meet? Are you going to meet? Is this boring? Is it safe? There are so many decisions that you as an individual have to make every day. So that's why doing some form of structured program with an independent program together, peachy perfect. And here we go. That is the best of both worlds. Okay, next question, which a lot of people think about, is where in the world? Where are the current trends? Well, I could tell you now, South and Central America, they are still #1 on the travel trend for the gappers. And I know why. Because Central and South America, they work, they're beautiful. The flights jumping between each country is so cheap and easy, reliable. The hostels are nice, they're clean. Countries like Costa Rica, you can even drink the water from the tap. So it really is geared up for gappers. It works brilliantly. So I would highly recommend it. What I also highly recommend with Central and South America is that you do one country, 1 month, one country. And you look at Central and South America as one, and you pick out contrasting countries. So I would do Guatemala, which is amazing for its culture, the lake, the volcanoes. I would combine that with Peru, which again is fantastic for offering the desert, the Andes, and the Amazon. And someone like Bolivia, which again is amazing because it's got the salt flats. So you've got 3 countries, easy to get to from each other, but within each country, you've got contrasting experiences. So there's no repeats. For example, you only want to go to the Amazon once. Which country? You could do access the Amazon from Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, and I think kind of northwest Bolivia, but so much easier to do it. Best place to do it is from Peru. Africa, one of my favorite destinations. And if you wanted to volunteer, if you wanted to do an internship, this is the place to do it. They will bite your hand off for volunteers. There's amazing NGOs, local NGO companies scattered all through Africa that we can introduce you to if you wanted to volunteer by yourself or go with a team, which is what we specialize in. But Africa, absolutely wonderful. Not that geared up for backpackers. So it's a harder gig to navigate and explore. But if you chose it, we could definitely help you through. We've got a portal called Leap VIP, which gives everybody, I would help guide, build itineraries, and introduce you to friends and family that live all through Africa that have amazing projects. Asia, coming up in the popularity stakes this year, because this year it's the first year for really being open. Last year, a little bit was open, but this year, wide open post-COVID. So Asia, very geared up for gappers. So if you said to me, oh no, I don't want to do any volunteering, I just want to go backpacking, and I have never done anything before, I'm pretty green, I would say Asia is your country because it's so geared up. You know, the hostels are there, the buses are there. It's, you just name it, it's not going to be terrifying. And there would be loads of gappers by the time you get out there. So it would be easy, easy peasy. The last country, it's gone a bit strange, is, no, gone very strange, is countries, area, Australia and New Zealand. Okay, again, very popular this year. But because this year it was the first year it'd been open again since COVID, so many gappers have gone in. But beware, okay? They are so expensive. So really think it through why you're going there and how long you want to stay there. Because, for example, in Asia, a hostel will cost you $10, $12 a night. In Australia, it's going to be $25 to $30 a night. So your budget will be swallowed up really, really quickly in Australia and New Zealand. Funding, just going back to funding and the types of jobs that you need to do, okay? I want you to earn a minimum 300 quid per week. You've got to look at your birthdays and Christmases as major funding opportunities. So when somebody says to you, oh, you know, what would you want for your birthday? Just say, could I have a donation to a hostel? You know, every 20 quid you get given or you earn, okay, is a hostel, apart from if you're in New Zealand or Australia, is a hostel and supper. that night. So start thinking that mentality, and that will stop you just splurging, you know, £7 every time you go into Cafe Nero. You'll stop that, and you'll start squirreling away all your money. Best jobs to do between Christmas and New Year is working in the pubs, working in the hospitality. You could just really clock up the hours. Between Christmas, there's loads of hamper packing opportunities and companies that really rely on gappers. And then if any of you have kind of opportunities to be kind of working near London, then, oh my God, you've got so many of the big shops like Harrods, Selfridges, Fortnum and Masons, which rely on the gap year students to help them with their pre-Christmas market. Top tips. So there we go. So what I want you to do is, what you could do now is open up your phones, and if you are interested, between now and departure, follow us on Instagram. The benefits being, yes, you can see lots of pretty pictures of people being away, but more importantly, we release every couple of, about 2 or 3 a month of gap year top tips, whether it's why go to this country, job offers, what not to do, how to stay safe, volunteering opportunities that we've just heard about. That's your portal. That is where I would go if I was you when you're in your research phase. So if you've got your phone now, join Gap Year Experts, and that's us, or TikTok, or just go to our website. Okay, so any questions from the floor?
I'm not sure you'll get many questions in a big audience. I haven't really known what they're like. But what I will do at the end is obviously I'll share your slides and the video recording when it comes through. And I'm sure we'll have other individuals that may have some follow-up questions, and I'll put them in contact with the website, but also yourself if there's anything that they'd like to ask, if that's okay.
Yes. So if you've got any questions, just email Zoe, Z-O-E. Oh, no, I've been told off. Info, INFO @theleap.co.uk. Or just DM us on Insta. That would be the easiest.
Yeah, perfect. That's great. Thank you very much, Milly. Loads and loads of information there to share with them. Really appreciate your time.
I'll send you the link now.
Thank you very much.
Okay, bye.
Bye.